Where's my Reptar puzzle?
Hello everyone, it's me, Hunter, and I am back to talk about another video game, but this time, I'm talking about something different. This time, I'm talking about a brand new game. That's right, baby. I'm finally taking the plunge. I'm finally talking about something new, something current, something relevant. No more Duke Nukem, no more Team Fortress 2, no more Daredevil shit. That's right, baby. We're talking about babies. We're talking about Rugrats. Adventures in Gameland. 30 years old. Now, for those of you who don't know, because you are under the age of 25, Rugrats is an animated cartoon series that aired from 1991 to 2004 that aired on the Nickelodeon network. It had multiple movies, multiple spin-offs, won countless awards. I watched one of those spin-offs. It was called All Grown Up. Shouldn't have been called that. They were 13 at most. There was one TV special where like a ghost kid jump scared them at the end, and it scared the fucking dog shit out of me as a kid. But needless to say, Rugrats is a very important animated series in terms of, I guess, cultural relevancy, at least in that space. You may also notice that I said that it ended in 2004. So what the fuck are they doing making a Rugrats game in 2024? You might think it's supposed to be promoting a new Rugrats thing, because, you know, it's still kind of recognizable. It's a pop culture icon. A lot of 90s kids love this shit. Like, genuinely, they love Rugrats. That's why they have, like, their own fucking section in FYE filled with Reptar cereal and chocolate that tastes like chalk and dog treats. But, no, they just kinda made it. Rugrats Adventures in Gameland was developed by Mix Games and Wallride and was published by known devil-worshipping company Limited Run Games. Hence why there was a $125 special edition, baby, filled with like 3 cases and a golden statue you absolutely don't need and won't ship for 8 months. Now, this isn't the first time the Rugrats have gotten a video game. In fact, I think it's like their 29th one. Now, growing up, I actually had 2 Rugrats video games. I had Rugrats The Search for Reptar, and Rugrats, I think it was called Lost in Paris. Both of them were on the PS1. Rugrats Lost in Paris was based off the second movie, and I actually loved that movie as a kid. I was obsessed with it. Chucky Chan, Kimmy's mom. Great, memorable movie that I rewatch every year. Now, you might be looking at the screen and you're asking yourself, Hunter, why? You're like 30, buddy. Where's your wife? Go home to your family, dude. And to that I say, you're right. I got this for free from the Epic Games Store. It's gonna be a bit of a loosey-goosey kind of video because Adventures in Gameland is kind of very simple. It is 100% a platformer made for a younger audience, as it should be. I don't really think you should be making a Rugrats game aimed at like an adult-oriented audience. I don't know what that would look like, and quite frankly, I don't want to know what it would look like. It's split up into, I believe, 5 or 6 levels, and, you know, they're very, you know, stereotypical platformer stages. There's the jungle level, the ice level, desert level, haunted house, final boss, you know, stuff like that. And, you know, very Mario inspired. And I think that's a great thing. And the Mario comparisons don't stop there. All of the babies, Tommy, Chucky, Phil, and Lil, are all based off of the Mario characters from Super Mario Bros. 2. Did you know that game is okay? I'm not really a big Mario 2 fan, but it's fun. It's fun. You know, Tommy is the all-arounder. Chucky can jump the highest, but he's the weakest. Phil is the brick shithouse power character, but he can't really jump at all. And Lil can do her little float jump like Peach can do. That's a very fun way to make all the babies different from each other. It's a very easy game. There are 3 difficulties. I don't remember the names, but I played on big kid mode because, quite frankly, I am not a pussy, and I'm not gonna let this game treat me like I am. God damn it, I am a big kid. Too big. I'm 30 years old. I shouldn't be playing this shit. So, like, you know, it's for kids. So, like, the easiest difficulty, unlimited respawns. You can freely switch between the babies anytime you want. You know, easy, you know, baby mode shit. Medium, you get game overs, but you cycle between babies every time one of them gets knocked out in a stage. So, like, if you lose all of your lives. Big kid mode, that's where the real shit is, baby. If you die, that's it. Whatever baby you took into the stage, that's all you get. Instant game over, go back to the start. Very NES inspired, obviously. That doesn't mean the game's overly difficult. The game is very, very easy. In fact, beating it in full, like 100%ing it, which is insanely easy to do, people, again, as it should be. It's a game, it's like a little kid's game. It will only take you about 2 hours, nice and breezy, and if I can be very honest with you, fun. This game's actually very, very good. All the stages are pretty well designed for the most part. Personally, I didn't really like the enemy spawning. I thought that was like a hard mode difficulty thing, but no, it takes its NES inspirations a little too closely. Enemies will respawn off the edge of the screen, or will respawn if you leave the screen, even while you're still, even like, you know, before you like leave it. Like if you move too far to the left, they'll just be back there if you go back to the right. That becomes a problem with enemies like the birds, the flying Cynthia heads. It's very, very, I was getting like Castlevania and Ninja Gaiden flashbacks to that, and I should not be getting that in this little diaper game made for fucking 2-year-olds. So, outside of the gameplay, one of the cool gimmicks that this game has, I don't know if I should call it a gimmick, but it kind of is, or at least it's an option. You're allowed to freely select between NES-styled visuals and music and HD-styled visuals and music. Now, on the visual end, I think the HD graphics are really fucking bad. The babies are scaled crazy. Like, they are super, super small compared to the adults. And I get it, like, babies are small, but bro, they are not that small, dude. Like, they're not ants. And I think some of the animations, while a lot of them can be fluid, like with the bosses and the enemies, and even the cutscenes, they still look off. And the stages are way too colorful, they're way too busy, and because of, like, how the camera is, it's cutting off a lot of the top and bottom of the screen, so you can't actually see what's above or below you that well, and it can make the platforming a little more obnoxious than it should be. Now, conversely, the 8-bit style visuals I think are fantastic. The sprite work is super colorful and really nice looking. Very, very fateful. I like all the black backgrounds, because that allows more space for the platforms to be plainly visible. I think the readability in the 8-bit version is way better than the HD version. I feel like the scaling on everything makes way more sense. The enemies are much smaller than the babies are, where they're kind of the same height in the HD version. The adults don't look as strange. Even the bosses, while they're not animating as much, I think they do the job a lot better. I just think that's my preferred way to play it, which is why you'll be seeing that in the background for most of the video. Now, for the music, I feel the opposite. The 8-bit soundtrack is good. It's, you know, it sounds like it's coming from an NES. It's very limited. It sounds good. But that HD soundtrack is unbelievable. I can't believe I'm saying this, but like Rugrats Adventures in Gameland's got some fucking tunes, dude. Listen to some of this. I can't believe how good this is. The composer should be proud of their work. Like, it is unbelievable. Like, seriously. Like, I love every track in this game. It is fantastic. Now, I mentioned the difficulty earlier. The game itself is not hard, but I do think the enemy placement and the spawning is a little awkward and unfair. Like I said, I think it takes its NES inspirations a little too seriously, and that can lead to some deaths, and I'll admit, I got a few game overs. I got a bunch of game overs in that final stage, in the Gameland, the titular Gameland, where I'm supposed to find Reptar, Gameland, where you're supposed to find him, you know, Gameland, where I'm having the adventures in, Gameland! So I had to farm some lives, which is a crazy thing to admit for a game that is very difficult, and I am an old fucking man. But that final stage is honestly pretty good when you don't have to worry about dying in one life. Great final song, great final challenge, great final boss. It's not great, but very funny final boss because you're just bombing the shit out of Angelica. Like, you're just killing this reader. And, that's it. That's Adventures in Gameland. All those stages, all the little Reptar coins you're supposed to collect to actually access the final level, that only took me about, like, an hour and a half. Now, that's okay, since I got this game for free, legally for free, but they're selling this game for 25 bucks. And I don't know how to feel about that. I guess, admittedly, 25 bucks isn't a big deal because this is like the length is kind of on par with how all the older Rugrats games were, right? Like all the games we used to play when we were kids, the ones that our parents spent their money on. They were the same price, if not more expensive, and we got the same amount of content as this one here. And I don't like being the hour to dollar guy. Like, even in the Daredevil video when I talked about the DBA game, I felt like I was being a little bit unfair, but I do kind of feel that way about games like that when they're super short and they cost like 30, like almost 30 bucks. Daredevil at least has replayability. This one, it's kind of a one and done deal. But if you're buying this for a kid, they're probably going to replay it a whole lot, especially if it's like their only game, if they're like really, really young. Who I think would get the most out of this, truthfully. Like, yeah, there's some fun little cameos in the Rugrats game for like diehard Rugrats fans, but like, I don't really think a grown adult would get anything out of this game. Which is why I'm wondering why they're selling the physical version for $40 and why Limited Run made a $125 special edition. I don't understand who that's for. I don't understand what anything Limited Run Games makes is for. I think they're a shitty, dumbass company. I don't think this game would have gotten made if they weren't publishing it, if I'm being honest with you, because for some reason Limited Run has become like a game publisher. Like they're publishing like the Tumble like remasters, the Gex ones, like who knows what else. I'm not gonna quote it, but I feel like they even did that one for Gargoyles. And like, I don't understand who this game is for, because like I don't think kids give a shit about the Rugrats in 2024. Like unless their parents are showing them like to their like little kids. I don't get it. I feel like most Rugrats stuff is aimed towards adults. And, you know, like merchandise, like all this extra stuff, like in real life. Like, fucking, like, yeah, they made that 2021 reboot show, but nobody saw that. And the only thing I know about it is that Phil and Lil's dad just got evaporated from existence, and the mom became a lesbian. Which one? Good for her. She could do way better than that fucking guy. But also, that's it. That's all I know. And I think that only got like one season, and that ended 3 years ago. So I don't know who would actually buy this game, especially a physical version for $40. It's a weird conversation. I don't know, like a game length to dollar, especially with the type of game it is and who it's aimed for. It's a weird conversation to have. I don't really know how to answer it. I think it could stand to cost $20 maybe. I don't know about 25, but I don't know. But I mean, like, I like the game. Like, it's fun. It's charming. A lot of work went into it. The sprite work is fantastic. The music is phenomenal. So I'm just kind of sitting here wondering, why the fuck did I make this video? And the answer is to measure my abilities.
Please email pickles@gmail.com. Also, maybe join my Patreon.
I've lost control of my life.